All right, what's up, good people? It's your boys, the Beards of War. We're back. Got myself, Thick Nick Fury. You got FBR for President, Frat Broker Rambo. Got Hey Captain Jack behind the scenes, and Scorched Earth is out there, just continuing to save the world from behind the computer screen. But we need it all done, and we need it done by the best. All right, so today we got a little bit of an ad hoc. We do have a movie to review, and that's going to be 2025's Weapons, starring Julia Garner, Josh Brolin. We did have some experiences with this movie, trying to get it seen. So
Technical
myself, Frat
difficulties.
Broker Rambo, we went to AMC theaters, and things happen. It's just to show you that we're not paid for this, right? We're just real people to going out to see the movie, so things happen. And in the middle of the movie, we got the lights went out, we lost sound, we lost video. And unfortunately, we weren't able to finish the movie, but we definitely do want to talk to you guys about it. We also want to know, what you guys thought if you guys actually finished the film.
I love
So
it. God, someone tell us what we missed.
right, yeah, just like spoil it for us, honestly. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna get into a couple of recommendations that we may have. So it came back. It became a To Be Thursday for me. But without further ado, Fat Broken Rambo, what you got, man?
Yeah, man. So we went into weapons kind of blind. Like we saw the basic or we saw the trailer premise. Focuses on a school teacher played by Julia Garner, fresh off a Silver Surfer and Fantastic Four First Steps. She plays a teacher, and one morning at 2:17 in the morning, I believe it was, all the kids from her classroom minus one leave and running off into the darkness with their arms extended, kind of like doing the airplane thing. And the story evolves from there. Full transparency, man. If you've seen the trailer, you've seen enough. Please, this is one of those films, and I'm gonna caveat this during my recommendation too. This is one of those films that the less you know, the better. I think if you go in blind, you don't talk to folks, I think you're gonna be pleasantly surprised. So that being said, spoilers beware. We're gonna dive into this thing. So what's neat about this movie is it focuses around obviously the aftermath of the kids being taken. So there's 17 kids that are missing, one has remained, and Julia Garner's character feels the need to connect with this kid. She's been told multiple times to stay away from him. She's got a troubled past. She makes some poor life decisions at certain ventures. And but what's interesting is about 20 minutes into it, it breaks from her character and focuses on another character. So we're not necessarily diving into each character deeply from Jump Street. Instead, we're getting their perspective of the key points following the disappearance of the kids. And I thought it really worked very, very well. They all kind of converge within the same, like I'd say 24 to 36 hours. Because I think at this point the kids have been missing for like 30 days or something.
Yeah, and honestly, what I actually was a little surprised because I guess I didn't know what the time frame premise of was for the movie, because
Yeah.
typically things like this happened in the 1970s where no cameras or nothing around, but no, this is current time.
Yeah.
So there's ring cameras that capture these kids running off to the night. And of course the community's like, well, they're kind of converging on the teacher as the cause, because why is it only the kids from your class? So you
Yeah.
kind of understand the idea of them coming after her, like calling her a witch, spray painted on her car. But she was, I would say, eerily calm about it. It wasn't like she really feared. She's going out to the liquor store getting the liquor. She's going to the gas station, like not even worried about people running up on her, even though the entire community is literally accusing her
Yeah.
of having something to do with this, right? So that kind of led me to believe, okay, like, why are you so chill about it? And then she's trying to go after the one kid that didn't run because, okay, obviously there's something amiss here, and she's trying to get to the bottom of it. But the
Yeah.
president, not the president, the principal, uh, played by Benedict Wong, is encouraging her, like, listen, like, stay away from it. Like, you can't have any contact with this kid, blah blah blah. But of course, she doesn't listen, because otherwise, would we have a movie? Probably not. And then she follows him to this house that's all newspapered up and everything, and she, of course, is going to investigate and see what she can see through the windows. And she just sees a couple just sitting on the couch, just not even moving, not responding to anything, just kind of sitting there on the couch. And that was like eerie. That was eerie in
Yeah.
itself. Yeah.
It was. And what I did like about this film a lot was how each character kind of they like lay the plot out for us in chapters, but each character plays a pivotal role. Like I thought Josh Brolin did a really good job playing one of the distraught parents who
Mhm.
finally kind of like comes out of it and starts to realize like, hey man, like I've got something I can action. And he starts to like basically do like a reverse azimuth off the Ring doorbell footage, and he runs it across lines because he's a construction guy. So he's looking at plans and he's looking to see where the angles kind of intersect to maybe give him a clue. There's a lot of like red herrings. I will say that there's some flash like cut scenes during like nightmare sequences. Everyone's having nightmares. What's interesting about it is like, and it, where it cuts in the film for Eric and I was that there's a pivotal scene that happens and the villain of the film shows up, and it all makes sense. But there's some of those nightmare sequences and some of the how do I phrase this? Um, the graffiti on the car, it all means something. So if you're paying attention, you'll probably be able to guess the plot moving forward. Josh Brolin graffitis her car with the word witch, and lo and behold, at the end of the movie, it's a witch.
Mhm.
Um, but she plays a really interesting take on the character because most people would just come out and be like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Turn my life upside down. I didn't kidnap these 17 kids. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'd be an open damn book, man. You're not gonna accuse me of anything, horrific like that. But she doesn't. She's just kind of weird, like in disbelief almost. So
Mhm.
you're suspicious of her character as well. And then we move from like, her to Josh Brolin to the police officer, and he's intertwined with her having an extramarital affair. His father-in-law is the chief of police. It gave me this vibe of watching like the movie, Bill Skarsgård as
Mhm.
Pennywise, because it almost seemed like everyone in the movie could potentially be a villain, kind of like they were in Derry or some shit like that, where all the adults knew there was an evil there, no one talked about it, and they just sacrificed a few kids every couple of years.
Right,
Um,
right.
this kind of screamed that a little bit to me because like you didn't know who was a good guy. You'd get one perspective, and then the next character arc would take over, and you'd be like, "Oh shit, that person's a fucking scumbag."
Exactly. And I will say so for me, my favorite character had to be James, right? So James is like your local meth head, crackhead, or whatever you want to call him. And he's the one that literally, of course, they're always the one that figured out, oh, I know where the kids are, but who's gonna believe a crackhead, right? So him and the interaction between what is the police officer named Paul.
Yeah,
Uh
Paul.
so Paul, like, he sees them breaking into a house, and of course he pulls them over, and he's like, "Hey, you don't have anything that's gonna stick me, right?" He's like, "No." Of course, he reaches his hand in his pocket, boom, gets hit with a needle. Now he's freaking out because he's like, "Oh my God, what's in the needle?" So he knocks the guy out, and it's all on police cam. So
Yeah.
he's like, Listen, I'm gonna let you go. Just don't come by here again, right?" So of course, James doing what crackheads do, he's walking around trying to open up, cars, and he's having like casual conversation on the phone. And boom, car door opens. He jumps in there. He gets like some kid's iPad. He takes it to
iPad.
the pawn shop, and it was just like his character was just probably the most believable of them all because it was just so like carefree. And he breaks to the house that has a newspaper in it, and that's when he finds the kids in the basement just standing and like just facing a direction, like not even
Oh,
tied
dude.
up, not that
Yeah.
was so eerie, man. And then like they all just turned around and looked at him, and like, bro, like it was like holy crap. So now he's got to try to tell the police what he found, and he's like, oh, there's a reward. Well, how do I get the reward? Like what do I have to do to get it? And because he doesn't want to go to the police station because the cops told him, don't show up here again. Of course, he's walking toward the police station. The cop sees him. Now he chases him down to the homeless encampment, and he doesn't know that the cop's chasing him. So he's ready with his. Now he's got three needles.
Yeah, because he's seeing shit too.
Right,
He's
everybody's
having like
like
visions of this
visioning
character that
things.
we
Right,
haven't seen
yeah.
yet. That
Oh,
crazy bitch that popped in at the end there when it was the audio cut for us.
yeah, and that's kind of like where it went. It went south. But that cop, but remember now, so now the cop, after getting
Yep.
stabbed in the face with the three needles,
Oh
he
man, poor
decides to
bastard.
listen to him. Right. At this point, I'm like, I don't know what will go through my mind being stabbed not once but four times by a homeless crackhead. Like I don't even know. I'd probably just end it for myself. But so he convinces the cops to go to the house. The cop goes to the house. He's in there for what, hours? Like they go there during the day, and he comes out at night,
Yeah.
and then he like drags James into the house, and I think that's like basically where it cut off
Yeah,
after.
that's exactly where it cut. So if you guys have seen the scene in the trailer of like
Yeah.
him screaming and pleading for help, like it's creepy, man. It's creepy as shit.
Mhm.
Because like
Yeah.
the cop goes in the daytime, the door opens, you don't see anybody. He just gets pulled in, door closes, and then all of a sudden he just comes out like raging, kind of like Benedict Wong's character. You know,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. In the
when
gas station.
Archer kind of confronts previous in there earlier, and you've probably seen the trailers, but when Archer kind of confronts her at the gas station, Benedict Wong's character comes running, man, and he's got like bulging eyes and like distortion and
Blood.
blood coming. Like he looks all kinds of. He almost looks like he's got the rage virus from 28 Days Later.
Right. Yeah.
And he is on a mission to kill Julia Garner, and that is it. And, like he runs into her so hard he actually snaps the gas pump line clean off the handle, and Josh Bowen like kicks him in the ribs really fucking hard. And the dude just keeps, he doesn't even worry about him. He just keeps coming after her. So we actually don't even know how
Right.
that ended. Um, we know. So basically, what ended up happening to us was we're sitting there watching it when the junkie's getting pulled into the house. Film cuts to black. I'm thinking it might be like some PR stunt, jump scare in the theater
Right,
kind of
part of the
thing.
movie. Yeah.
And then like 5 minutes goes by, and then the film comes back on, but it's the audio, and the film has kept going. So we see Amy Madigan's character, the villain, Aunt something, I can't remember, but she's eccentric with like, bangs and like fucking hot pink
Red hair.
hair and all these kind of colors on her clothes and stuff like that. Um, so
Yeah,
spoiler
Gladys
alert.
Lilly is a character.
Yeah, and yeah, so she's the witch, and she's basically concocted a spell through Alex, the one kid that's left in the classroom. And she uses him to kind of like as a surrogate to spread the spell over all the kids in the class. That's why he wasn't selected. But he's working with her because she's holding the parents hostage. And I guess there's a scene where, and I read about this, so like I wasn't gonna wait to go see it again because that's an hour and 45 minutes. I can't get back.
Right.
But to prove her point that the parents are under a spell, she has them stab each other in the hands with forks and shit. He's like, if you don't do what I tell you, like I will have your parents eat each other.
Mm,
Um, that kind of dark shit. And
okay.
so at some point the spell breaks and the kids chase after her through the street and apparently rip her apart.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Awesome. Like, and here's the thing. I'm going to tell you about me. Like, once I get comped for like a movie, right? Because obviously you get, oh,
Yeah.
here's a pass to come back, and watch the movie. I never go back to watch the movie. Like you said, like that's an hour and a half. I'm not gonna get back. I'll wait for it to stream, whatever. I'm okay with waiting because it was good enough for me to go and see. So it wasn't like it was a waste of time. So for me to go back and watch a movie that I hadn't finished would be almost like me getting comped for a bad meal and then going back to eat the leftovers. Like, no, I want a new meal. Like I'm gonna use that pass to go watch something else, possibly nobody that's coming up, and we're
Hell
looking
yeah.
forward to that. Nobody too. So stay tuned for that. But from like I said, from what we saw, this movie was great. It was engaging, and
Yeah.
like we were so engaged that when the movie went down, we thought it was part of the movie. Like that's how we were like, well, no, no, it can't. What's going on? Like we didn't know that. Oh yeah, this just the movie stopped working.
We
We
can't
were
hear it,
that
damn it.
engaged. Exactly. We're here. Like, are we gonna start running out of the theater? Like anything. Like it could have been. Is it 217? No, but so it's like the movie is good. Like from what we saw, it was definitely good. It sounds like the ending could be good, and
Yeah.
I think that's usually the main issue. And I call it getting M Night Shyamalan, right? Like a movie is great until the ending, and it's like, really, oh, that's a letdown, right? So how you end a horror movie is just as good as how you start one. So for
Absolutely.
me, up until the part that we saw, it was definitely a good movie. I definitely recommend seeing it.
Oh, absolutely.
Not gory. It's not like it's not a lot of jumps. I mean, I guess it's some jump scares, but
The
nothing
ending sounds
gory.
slightly gory.
What part? 'Cause, I'm
Well,
I'm
the
I'm
the
numb to
part
this
that we
now.
didn't see where the witch gets ripped apart by the
Oh,
kids.
okay. Yeah.
So I
So
mean,
there you
like,
go.
there's that.
Okay.
Um, but all we can do is speculate at this point. I will say this, man. Like on a personal note, like times are stressful right now. And in this moment, when the movie crashed on us, we stepped outside and acted like gentlemen with manners and respect for the staff. Some people are just dicks. Okay. I
Mhm.
promise you, the staff at your local theater, when accidents happen or if the film breaks, it's not like a personal fucking vendetta against you. Okay. In this case, the entire mall lost power and the fire alarm started going off. Am I going to yell at the AMC staff because the movie broke because of a fucking fire alarm? Hell no. I'm going to get out of the building and thank God the safety system still works.
Right.
Just be better people to each other. Like, come on, man. We're good human beings naturally. Like, stop being dicks.
Right. It takes effort to be a dick. It
If the
really
shoe
does.
fits, if the shoe
Takes
fits, wears
effort.
it, man.
Yeah.
Um, I will say though, I'm excited to watch it again. I definitely want to. I'm gonna buy it. I think I'm gonna buy it on physical media because I'm making the shift away from buying licensed stuff. I'm a huge collector of physical media. I even started buying LPs now. Um,
Wow.
but I enjoyed it, man. And Zach Cregger, his first film was Barbarian. Justin Long cameos in this. If you guys remember Barbarian with him and
Hmm.
Bill Skarsgård, it's all about don't book the wrong Airbnb kind of horror movie. Um, that movie was great up until a certain point for me, but his style is solid, and I saw his style in this film too. I think he took his freshman hack at filmmaking. For me, it didn't land. Up until like the big reveal. Like I said, like Eric said, you got to nail the ending, man. For me, that ending didn't sink.
Yeah.
This one though had all the markings of a great film. Can't wait to watch it again. And Zach, I'm begging you. I know you're taking on Resident Evil. I know you're not going to follow the games, and I'm cool with that, man. respect the lore, respect the fans. Don't fuck this up, man. Please, we
No
Resident
pressure.
Evil fans need a win. We
No
need a
pressure.
win.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, with that being said, I think that's all we have for weapons. But we
Yeah,
do
man.
have a couple recommendations. Like I said, once you get out in that mode, you gotta come home and you gotta watch something, right? So,
Yeah.
Rambo, what'd you watch, man? What do you got for
Yeah,
the
man.
people?
So this is probably one of my favorite, all-time favorite modern horror movies. Uh, full transparency, I'll give you the same one I gave with this weapons. You want to go into this blind. So if you haven't seen it, you should probably turn it off now, man, because it's going to ruin a phenomenal twist in horror movie history. Cabin in the Woods, 2012, man. Chris Helmsworth, before he ever got big, and this is pre-Thor. I think this is right after he did that terrible ass Red Dawn remake. Oh, ugh. Um,
Can't all be
so it's got
winners.
the stereotypical setup, man. He's the jock. And like, you got the standard issue crew, final girl, stoner, bimbo cheerleader, football jock, and they're all going to a cabin in the woods in an old ass RV. They stop at a creepy ass gas station and it just gets weird, man. So in typical horror fashion, they're at a lake, shit goes south. But what's interesting about this, once again, spoiler alert, please stop fucking watching this video if you have not seen this film. It's actually part of a government like controlled compound, and they have this entire massive vault with all the scary shit and imagination like locked away, and they have to sacrifice like a group of teenagers every so many generations to like ancient gods that are going to come destroy the earth if they don't get a blood sacrifice. But what's hilarious about it is how they take every stereotype from horror and they flip it on its head. Like Chris Helmsworth is actually not a dirtbag. He's a gentleman who's a hero and willing to sacrifice himself. The blonde bimbo is actually like a physicist or some kind of crazy shit. Like, and it all works. The stoner is actually the mastermind of the entire series of the entire movie that saves the fucking day. It's hilarious. And shout out, man. I think this is Josh Whedon. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the first two Avengers films. Shout out to Sigourney Weaver, man. She comes in a cameo sequence that is absolutely phenomenal. She's like the director of the facility at the end. It's just great, man, to see her choose the scenery in a horror film again. But yeah, the two control guys, phenomenal, man. They're the ones orchestrating the entire thing. And then when all hell breaks loose, it's just a fun slasher to watch, man. It really is. Because when the bad guys get their just desserts, it's fucking glorious and it is bloody as all hell. So it's a great film. Your expectations will definitely will definitely skyrocket. You'll never see a horror film like this. It'll be another generation before we see something this original and authentic to me as far as horror.
Yeah. And they'll call it Cabin in the Woods. Like
Yeah,
that's what they do. Like,
it'll be
oh,
a
we're gonna
remake.
remake it again.
Yeah.
All right. All right, I gotta share something with you guys, and I'm gonna be honest with you, okay? When I give you a recommendation, it's not always because I loved it, it's because I had to suffer through it. I'm gonna make you suffer through it. All right. This is just what I happen to watch. Sometimes you just flip through channels. Oh, this looks interesting. Let me check it out.
Right.
Now, this movie, I'm going through Tubi, right? Because Tubi Thursdays. And it's called The Last Exit. It's also called Little Bone Lodge, and it's starring Jolie Richardson, which is actually Natasha Richardson's sister, Liam Neeson's wife that passed away years ago. So she, to me, is the only recognizable person in this movie. So basically, the premise of the movie is there are two brothers out there. They committed a crime or something like that. So now they're out in the middle of nowhere. It's always the middle of nowhere. It's raining. They come across this farmhouse. One of the brothers is hurt. The other brother is like kind of mentally like challenged, right? So he's like one of those kids that always like hits their head like, oh no, he can't really, he's not a full functioning adult, but he's a violent. Right. So the things that has happened is due to him. Like the deaths that's happened is due to him. So they come across the farmhouse, and you have Jolie Richardson's character, we'll call her Mama, and she's got a little daughter. Her daughter's like, they're trying to help this guy come in. He's banging on the door. He's frantic, like, I need to help my brother. He hurt his leg, blah, blah, blah. We were in a car accident and all this stuff. So, of course, they let him in. They have a gentleman there named Papa who's in a wheelchair and kind of like lethargic, like sitting there, just kind of like, comatose almost, eyes open, but not saying anything. And they come in, she's trying to help them out. Okay, let's lay the brother on the couch, kind of mend them up, kind of thing. But she doesn't realize that they're criminals, right? So fast forward a little bit, cop shows up, like, hey, we heard there's something in the area, blah blah blah. What do you know about it? And she's like, oh, we don't know anything. That she's covering for them basically. So when the guy convinces her, because they have a bag of whatever items they stole that they have to go back and get from the wreckage.
Of
So
course.
they convince her to go out to the wreckage. She tells the daughter, make sure you give Papa his medicine on time. So basically, what it was, the medicine that Papa was getting was an anesthetic that was keeping him comatose. So what the story was Mama had actually stolen the girl as a child and the husband and kept the mother in the attic because they had an accident where killed her kid. So she basically took, yeah, exactly. She took her family as a replacement for hers, and she was covering all this up. So now you got the brothers that come back that realize this, and now the brother's trying to rescue the girl and get her out of the house and realize, hey, this is not your mother. You need to get out of here. Meanwhile, the guys that they're in cahoots with are coming to get their booty or whatever. And then there's a whole standoff shootout thing there. At the end of it, she ends up taking the brother as her new son because he's now estranged from his other brother who is now trapped in the attic. So it's like basically just exchanging one pair of one family for another. It was weird. It's worth watching though. I'll be honest with you. Like it's one of those. How is
Huh.
this gonna end? I just told you how it ends. But it's one of those movies that like, well, what the hell's going on here? Like, why is she act like that? And so as it turns out, she's the actual villain, and she's basically just trying to, replace what she's lost, and she's just taking people's kids, like so. She's kind of weird, but she did a great job. Acting was good for a Tubi movie. I've seen worse. I've actually seen worse, but just for the purpose of this review, just to let you know, like the daughter got away. They got to the police station, so I'm like, okay, well, if you get to the police station, you should be able to tell them what happened. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, what happened? So now Mama has moved to another completely isolated compound somewhere off like a lighthouse. Like, okay, how many places does she have? But anyway, that's the premise of that movie.
Yeah. Let's talk about
It was
funding.
worth the watch, but yeah, it's one of those. Really? Okay. All right. So yeah, Last Exit on Tubi if you want to check it out. Came out in 2023. Like I said, if you just want one of those movies that kind of gives you a little plot twist, that's
It
it.
sounds like a combination of like Mom meets Don't Breathe.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And typically that's what you have with horror movies, right? There's some type
Yeah.
of a relation to another one because how many types of horror movies you
True.
know can you have, right?
Yeah. There's only so much you can do to mix it up. But yeah,
Yeah.
man.
All right. So
All right.
that's it. That's my recommendation. So you guys can check it out. It's not a horrible movie, but it's Tubi.
Yeah, man. So I will give you guys the final trailer recommendation before we sign off for the day, and I'm going to tell you this: we're pitching Nobody 2 again because it's coming out this Friday. Nobody 1 is very near and dear to our hearts. It's the first film that we reviewed when we built the channel, so we can't wait to see what Bob Odenkirk and Sharon Stone is the villain. Man, like I think it's going to be fantastic. I'm rooting for this movie to be great.
All
Trailer
right.
was cut a little weird. I'm rooting for it to be great.
But it's a
So.
sequel. And we know what happens with sequels, man. They get a budget and they don't they kind of lose their
eh,
minds, right? For lack of a better term, they kind of lose
eh,
their minds. Like,
Aliens,
oh, we have to spend all this money. Okay, Alien, but Aliens to me, like those movies that are created to be a trilogy don't really count, right? Like
I don't think it was
Superman,
created to be a
Matrix.
trilogy.
What's the Alien? You don't think so?
No,
Okay, well, yeah. So I guess you could say that, but I think like when you make a
for
movie,
the
you
most
have
part.
success. Like depending on the success you have, and you weren't anticipating a second, and then
Yeah,
you have to make a second. Now it's like, oh wow, okay, what do we do to make it bigger, better? And you end up missing the whole point of what made it endearing in the first place. So I hope that doesn't happen with Nobody. Uh, and I think what you kind of lose with Nobody too is the fact that we already know how much of a badass he is. It's not gonna be a surprise anymore. We know
true.
how his dad gets down. We know how his
Yep.
brother gets down. So all right, so it's not gonna be like, holy crap, I didn't know he was capable of that. No, we know what he's capable of.
Yeah, yeah.
Now
That's
it
that's a
goes,
good
okay,
point.
now how else do we go? So, but I'm still looking forward to it, man. We're still going to review it. Like I said, it's near and dear to our hearts. So
Yeah,
hopefully we are pleasantly surprised with it.
I'm rooting for it, man. I want movies to get better and better. So we're on the rebound after COVID.
Yeah, still.
Yep. Long walk after that, and then Running Man and Predator Badlands in November. God, I can't
Mm,
wait. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be so good.
go. Let's go. All
All
right.
right,
So
guys.
So all we got, guys. Thanks for joining us. Make sure you guys, hit the like button, the notification bell, all that good stuff, man. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know what movies you recommend. We'll definitely get to them if we can. Thanks for coming out to everybody. Thick Nick Fury out here.
Fat Broken Rambo out here. Be good to each other, guys.